Guys, what is up? I've been waiting for this day for a couple weeks now. I'm actually really excited. If you don't know what today is Sunday. It is September 29th. It's a beautiful day out. It's around 11 o'clock, maybe 11:30. We're pulling the V6 out. It's gonna be awesome. The only problem is there's low bugs everywhere. If you don't live in Florida and you watch these videos, I'd be surprised if my viewers don't live in Florida. These low bugs are freaking everywhere. They don't bite you. They don't, do anything like that. They're just annoying. Very annoying, but it's okay. But yes, today is the day we are pulling the V6 and trans out and getting the engine bay ready. I've got a couple friends coming over and they're going to help me get this thing out, hopefully rather quickly. I've got engine hoist, got a pallet. I'm literally just going to pull engine and trans out and put them right on that pallet, and then they'll be ready to get sold. I don't know who wants to buy an old 3.9 TBI, but it'll be for sale just in case anybody wants to get one. But yeah, that's what's going to be happening today. I'm going to try and get it all on video, and hopefully today the engine and trans will be out of this thing. What's up, guys? So earlier, we were going to take the engine out and I was going to videotape it, and I did not, because it was a lot going on and it was hard to get an angle, and there was about 6 people here to help me, some good friends of mine and my dad. Forgive the dirty face and dirty shirt and dirty hands, just got off work, but finally had an opportunity where it wasn't raining, because it's been raining for the past 4 days, to finally show y'all, now you can see me, to finally show y'all what the engine bay looks like without an engine in it. So, there we are. So, we didn't have to we took the hood off, and set it over on the ground. There's the engine and trans there. And we took the whole front end of the truck off just to make it so much easier to pull the engine and trans out. And guys, this engine bay is freaking huge. It's like, with no engine in here, I didn't realize how big it is. And it's gonna set the small block in there really well, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, so much room for activities and turbos and superchargers and all that good stuff. We'll see where it goes, but just to see what I've got going on, I've got the grill and supports and the front piece here, fan, radiator, all kinds of stuff that I'm just gonna be holding on to for now. Condenser, actually, that's not the radiator, but yeah, and I tried boxing everything up, and keeping all the stuff that I am going to keep, and then just kind of going to go over what I'm going to be keeping and what I'm going to be getting rid of, and what I'm going to be changing. So what I want to do is I want to paint the fenders and the engine bay itself that does have paint. What I want to do is paint it black, not a flat black, but not a gloss black. I want to do a nice satin, just for satin. It has a good pop to it. It's not too shiny, but it's also not too flat. Yeah, I'm getting rid of this, which I don't even honestly know what it does. At least I hope I can get rid of this, because it is kind of big and ugly. I will be going to a new washer pump jug, or washer jug. I'm going to be running new electrical tape on all the wires that I'm going to reuse. Then I'm going to have to be running new wires. I am keeping power brakes, I am keeping power steering, and I am keeping AC, because I want this truck to be a real nice daily driver, and I want it to, be comfortable. I don't want it to just, be obnoxious trying to drive it and whatnot. So, yeah, I think that's kind of it. Here's the old engine and trans. There is a few things that I do need to nab off this thing. The throttle bracket, the few other things. What was it? Probably some of the shifter linkage to transfer over to my other one. I'm not sure how it's going to run. I am going to unbolt the compressor. I'm going to get a new compressor, because this compressor is shot and it's been open and water's been getting in it. But I'm going to get a new compressor, but I need to pull the compressor off. I need to pull the motor mount brackets off. And I'm going to pull that starter off, because that starter actually is a mini high torque starter for 3.9s, 5.2s, and 5.9s. So I will remove that on my 5.9 and be able to clear headers just fine without having that really big starter. But yeah, that's about all I need off of this transmission. I think I might pull that trans mount too, just to have it, just in case, you know, if it doesn't match the ones for the 727. But yeah, that's what I've got going on in this setup right now. I will be ditching the mechanical fan. I'll be going electric fan. I'll be going twin electric fans with a nice 4-core radiator or 3-core radiator. So that'll get rid of the fan shroud and everything. And I found that I got a big one-piece drive shaft that I'm hoping I'll be able to, it is a slip yoke. I'm hoping I'll be able to use that in my 727. It was in the back of a 40, I believe a 42 or 44 RE. So I guess we'll kind of see. I got to see if the splines are the same. And I can see from here, I don't know if you can see it, but at the top of that, it is keyed. So I don't know if the 727s are keyed or not, but that's where we're at right now. Guys, another thing, so these are the fuel lines from the electric fuel pump to up here. So I am actually going to be reusing those because I am running a carburetor, but I'm going to keep the electric fuel pump mainly because of, for simplicity and startups, and I don't have to run the fuel filter and lines all the way to the front of the engine. So I'm going to keep that. There's a bracket there. I need to grab that. That way it doesn't disappear. But I'm going to keep that and run it to a fuel pressure regulator, and then I can regulate it down to the 5 to 6 psi that I need for the carburetor. So I'm probably going to go Aeromotive or Motion Raceworks because they both have phenomenal fuel system parts. But yeah, as far as addressing certain things that I'm going to be running, so I am going to be running a aftermarket switch panel that I think I've showed you guys before, and I'm going to have the switch panel. I'd like to put it right here, cut this out and run the switch panel there, because there is nothing there, and it would be honestly a perfect spot to run it, and it'll, you know, kind of give it that real good look, real factory style look. But the only thing I'm going to be keeping the key for is for the steering lock. That way I can turn the wheels. So the only thing that will be key on is the steering lock and actually the interior pieces that are going to stay to power on the key. The only thing I'm taking off the key is the fuel pump and ignition. So the fuel pump and ignition will be on 2 separate switches, and I will have also the starter solenoid going to a push button start. So all that's getting deleted. But at least I'll have the key on for inner stuff like AC and lights and radio and the steering column as well. Kind of also a little update just to kind of what I'm going with right now. I am going to be getting this seat reupholstered. I've got a good friend. Well, I've got a friend that I'm getting to know more. A real cool guy. He works on seats, and so he does a really good job. I've seen the stuff that he's been doing lately. So I'm gonna hit him up and have him do this seat. I want to get it done professionally, and I don't want to cheap out and just go pay someone, you know, cheapy to get it done. Probably would like to do a new headliner as well, but as far as the rest of the interior goes, the interior looks really good. And here's another crazy thing. Look at how much higher the front end sits now with the engine not in it anymore. The front end sits so much higher than what it used to. I don't know if you can really see. Yeah, not really, but the front end is like a freaking monster truck now. There's so much more clearance. It used to be that, sorry for my hand, the fender used to be about here in the pictures, and now it's all the way up because of that heavy iron block. But it's kind of what I'm working with right now. I'm going to be wondering how low the 360 is going to drop this, and if I'm going to have to worry about any clearance issues. Like if I need to run a different offset wheel or not. I'm not sure. I do have those wheels in the back, but I'm hoping it doesn't go too low. I might have to put like maybe a heavier spring in. Like I guess maybe a V8 spring, just to make it just a tad bit taller, or maybe put a small spacer in the spring just to pick up the nose a little bit. Because I'm not sure how low the V8 is going to make it. With the V6, it was about here. So without it in it, it's all the way up here. I'm hoping with the V8, it doesn't go down too low to the fact that if I hit a bump hard, it will rub the tires, and that's what I don't want. But yeah, that's kind of the update what I've got right now. You see my wheels, they look good. I've done quite a few coats on those and they look really good, so I'm just gonna be cleaning those up a little more here and there. A good friend of mine gave me these wheels. They were on a first gen that he bought, so he gave them to me because he's not going to use them. And I thought it'd be cool to have those to put my racing slicks on until I, get some nice racing wheels. They're lightweight aluminum, so they should do just fine. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. I'm not putting that old bumper back on because it's all mangled, and I gave it to my friend to go scrap because I didn't want to put it back on in the condition that it was in because it didn't look very good. And honestly, with the front piece back in, when it goes back together, it actually looks pretty good without a bumper. So I'm actually gonna run the no bumper look for a while. But yeah, that's where I'm at, guys, right now. And then I'll go give you guys an update on the engine. So a few things I'm gonna talk about. One, so we messed up. If you were on my Instagram, and you'll see in the beginning of this video that these are now in a different way than they were at the beginning of the video. That's because me and my brother-in-law put them in backwards. I was like, oh, they go this way. And yeah, I was wrong, because then the next day I looked at the cylinder head and thought, oh, crap. So what me and my other buddy Phil did, because my brother-in-law wasn't able to come back over at that point in time, and my buddy Phil was over, we just swapped him over. And in the meantime, we found that we nicked the crank in certain spots, and we didn't destroy anything, but we did scuff up the bearings on 3 rods. Luckily, for some reason, I ordered 2 sets of rod bearings. They're stock, standard, sealed power from Summit. For some reason, I ordered 2 sets. So what's awesome is I had some sitting aside. So we were able to get the burrs off the crank as best as we possibly could. You cannot feel anything anymore. And we put the new rod bearings in with new assembly lube and turned the engine over and rechecked the bearings. And the bearings look just fine. There's no more scrapes. And I'll show you the bearings are outside. But what the bearings, how they got damaged. But here's the bottom end, guys. It looks fantastic right now. I haven't really gotten anywhere with it yet. I haven't gotten the cam yet. I'm trying to wait to sell the engine and get some money recouped back together. But my intake is done. I didn't get to show you guys this before it left. It was in a little bit of rough shape. Now, I did get this intake used with these heads, but these heads were never on a vehicle. These heads are brand new, out of the box, never been touched. And this intake is used. So what had happened is the intake right here had a crack in it through where like it would screw in. And you can see it had been drilled and tapped, and it was just sorry there for the interruption. Just got a call from my wife. But so what I was saying is coolant jet, or the coolant port on this thing was cracked. So he had to completely drill out and weld in a new one. It is an aluminum intake. So he just tacked it up, and honestly, it doesn't look too bad. But it was only $75 to get it fixed. He beaded it. So I mean, it looks a little rough at the moment, but I did just buy an aluminum spray. So I'm going to paint this up real nice so it looks real good and try to grind down some edges. But this is a dual plane. It's really nice. It is an Edelbrock LD340. It's a pretty hot street intake that they built for these back in the day. That you could actually get these on them from the factory. So these were a hot intake that you get on the 340s. So this is going to go well with my 360, which it's not a 360 anymore, technically, being that it is bored 30 over. This is a 4-inch bore. It is now 4.030, and then doing the math on the stroke and bore, it is now a 365, which doesn't matter. I just wanted to throw that out there. But, yes, this is what it looks like right now. I'll throw a picture of the heads and intake on it. I just set them on there to see how it looked and see how the bolts would line up on the intake to make sure that this wasn't milled down too far. That way it'll fit right and the bolts will seal and everything. And this intake has been ported. So lots of flow on the intake runners, which is great because the intake runners on these are good size as well. So they should match pretty well. Another thing is I went to the machine shop and had my heads checked and valve springs and valves. Excuse me. I went and had the valve springs, valves, and heads checked at the machine shop, and he gave me the spring ratings and everything. So now I can kind of find a little bit better of a cam I'm going to go with. I am looking at a Howard's retrofit cam. It is 520 lift intake, 515 exhaust with a 268, or no, sorry, not 268, 282 intake and 286 exhaust duration. It's on a 110 lobe separation angle. If you don't know cam specs that well, do some research and you'll figure out what an LSA is. It's hard to explain. But yeah, I was looking at that Lunati Voodoo cam, but now that I know that I've got better heads and I don't have to buy those crane springs, I can run a little bit bigger of a cam, a little bit hotter, that I can get more power out of. Mainly I want to hear the cam, and 492 is a good lift and it could do a decent amount, but this one had a better rev range. It's only $30 more, and I mean it's going to give me a little bit more performance. So I mean $30 for more performance and more sound, A-okay in my book. But we'll go outside and show you those cam bearings. Forgive the mess, but I was very sad when we found this. So as you can see right there, that I can rub my finger through and it gets stopped on. Those were pretty bad. That one right there. So yeah, that one was the worst. It had 2 burrs in the same row. So yeah, that kind of sucked. It was like, oh crap, and then I remembered that I had the extra rod bearings, so we put them in. They look a lot better now. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on at the moment. Life's been busy and we've been doing a lot of stuff, and I've got a lot of stuff coming up, and weddings and stuff with family and stuff with my wife. But I needed to do an update video and let you guys know what's going on. It's a lot in one video, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, forgive the dirty face. But so that's where I'm at right now with the cam and everything. If you know anyone that wants to buy that engine and trans, please send them my way. Like $300, engine and trans is yours. It ran actually pretty good. I can put a video in here that of it running. It was down a cylinder, but then I found a spark plug that was unhooked, so I plugged it back in. It could use the refresh, you know, gaskets and everything and whatnot. But it was a good, solid engine. It ran good. Just not enough cylinders for me. But that's kind of where I'm at right now, guys. I am going to be cleaning the engine bay this weekend, hopefully, after working on my dad's truck. So hopefully I'll get some videos of that and have it cleaned up and start doing some wiring stuff and whatnot. I would like to rerun the wire for the fuel pump, or at least find the power wire to the fuel pump and start hooking in my switches, start hooking in my relays and everything, and start getting what I need done. The same guy that gave me the cylinder heads and the intake might have a distributor for me as well, which that is very cool. It is a Mopar Performance distributor. Or I might go to the GM one-wire style, because it's very simple, it's clean wiring, and it works well. But it's kind of where I'm at right now. Before I end off this video, just want to say thank you to all my friends and my family that came over to help me pull this engine out. We got this engine out in about 4 hours, and that is literally starting by taking off the first bolt to the engine going on the pallet. We started at about 11:45, 12 o'clock, and by 3:30 the engine was sitting, 3:45-ish, the engine was sitting on the pallet. My good buddy Zach, my good buddy Phil, my good buddy Andre I work with, you've seen him in previous videos. My buddy Phil, he's a good friend of mine. My buddy Zach, I've known for a long time. And then my brother-in-law, Cody, which you saw in the beginning of this video, helping me with the engine that we put the pistons in backwards. And my dad came over to help as well. So it was really cool to just kind of have everyone pitch in and help out. And thank you to my boss at work for letting me borrow the engine stand and or the engine hoist. Really cool of him. That is a work tool, and I was able to borrow it for the weekend. So thank you to my boss. And just kind of thank you for all the support, and for you guys watching. You know, I'm just kind of doing it slow, but I'm trying to do it as best as I possibly can. So yeah, more update videos to come, and hopefully more progress is to come. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Keep watching, subscribe, Please share with your friends, like these videos, and also, God bless, peace out, have a good one.